Hello everybody, it's me Billy Speedforce Productions and welcome to another Sonic the Hedgehog discussion video where today I'm going to be talking about my current thoughts regarding Sonic Prime, the newest animated series to be coming out, and it will be coming out on Netflix later this year. So we have like less stuff to talk about compared to like when we were talking about the previous stuff that I've talked about this past week. But I recently decided to talk about this series because we had the teaser trailer recently, which I'll get into closer to the end of the video. So stick around and check out my thoughts on it. But if you are a new member of the channel, be sure to subscribe, turn on the bell. I also have a Patreon and also become a channel member, and you get some exclusive content, some emojis if you're a channel member, and you also get a thank you at the end of every video. So the series was first announced back on the 10th of December back in 2020, and it was announced to be a 3D animated series for the franchise, and it was to be done by Man of Action Entertainment and WildBrain. Although that was accidentally posted by the Twitter pages of Netflix, and it was not supposed to be revealed then. It wasn't until like a couple of weeks later where they actually decided to officially reveal it to the public, when it was supposed to be revealed. So when finding out that the animation studios behind it was Man of Action Entertainment and WildBrain, I didn't really know who they were, so I had to like look them up on what their previous works were. Man of Action was actually really interesting because they've actually worked on like some well-known cartoons that were back in the day, along with some more modern ones, but some of them I don't really know of, other than one that I never really watched, but I know that people didn't like it. So the ones that people knew of back in the day would be like the original Ben 10 series, Generator X, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and they also did the Ultimate Spider-Man series and Marvel's Avengers series from 2013. I never watched the Avengers series, but I did watch Ultimate Spider-Man, and I remember seeing ads for Generator X, and I remember actually watching Ben 10 sometimes back when I was a kid. But the thing is though, I was not really into Ben 10 as a kid. Generator X, I never knew when they were airing the show, so I could never watch it. Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I never knew that show even existed until I saw like a compilation of like Marvel cartoon intros. Ultimate Spider-Man though, I did watch a lot of that show, and I remember liking it as like a 11 to 12-year-old. So there is some good stuff in there, and the most recent show that they've done is called Mega Man Fully Charged. So they have experience doing a video game TV series, but I've heard that Mega Man Fully Charged is not very good. So there is that. But I stayed curious because I'm usually curious about these sort of things. I don't really want to judge things too early when knowing like the history of like a company with doing TV shows. Then there was WildBrain, which they actually have like a lot of things in their like catalog of what they've worked on. But from what I can gather from their most notable works, they did the Mr. Peabody and Sherman show for DreamWorks. They also helped out making the Mega Man Fully Charged series. They did the Snoopy in Space series based on the Charlie Brown characters for Peanuts. They are currently still working on the Johnny Test reboot from last year. But WildBrain also has some experience doing some movies, actually. Their most notable movies are a bunch of My Little Pony movies, specifically the Friendship is Magic series. Or they did like the 2017 movie as a co-production with the other people that make the movie. But their other notable works as a co-production thing with like Hasbro Studios was the Equestria Girls series, because there was like a whole bunch of movies on those, and I only ever watched the first one. I never watched any of the other ones. I'm just gonna make a full disclaimer right now. I am not a fan of My Little Pony. I never got into it, and it's probably never gonna happen. So, before anyone tries to make assumptions, I'm not really into that. But if you are, then good for you. You have something that you have something that you're into that I can't really get myself into. So more power to you. There is some other notable works, but I don't really know all of them, and I'm not gonna go over every single thing that WildBrain has done over the years. It's a lot of things. I'm sure a lot of it's probably decent at best, but I don't know a lot of these that I can't really say anything. And plus, I haven't really watched a majority of the stuff they've made, so I can't really judge on any of this. But yeah, I was still very optimistic for the series, and I was curious to see where they might go with it, because Man of Action Entertainment was the one I was most curious about, because obviously they've done more action-y related shows, so I was curious to see like what they might do. But at the same time, I was a little bit worried, because knowing that they also worked on Mega Man Fully Charged together, it's a little worrying. Later on, we got some leaked concept art for the series. I don't remember who leaked it or where the art had come from, but people had found it, and it was very interesting. One of the most notable things about it was seeing different looking Eggmen, seeing different looks of like Tails and Amy, and Sonic had different shoes, which I wonder what that was all about. But from what we could gather with all the information that we were getting about this entire series, and even when they were talking about it in the May 2021 Sonic Central that happened, the series was going to be going through the multiverse. So the idea of the multiverse with Sonic, that's probably been like a fan fiction-y thing for like such a long time, because like there's like fan games that try to do like a multiverse kind of thing with Sonic, or you see like fan fiction-y stories or fan artworks of Sonic characters in other universes and all that. It was interesting, like, to see it happen officially. Like, heck, I've even done an attempt at Sonic going to other universes, but that didn't go well. Who knows, maybe I might decide to pick up on that story again, but we don't know yet. After a while, we didn't really get any news, so we were just left in the dark for the series for such a long time. There was some curiosity about like who would be cast as Sonic characters, since apparently they have a certain rule where it can only be like, I think, Canadian voice actors because of where their studios are. So they couldn't have the video game voices, so we couldn't hear Roger, we couldn't hear Colleen, couldn't even hear Mike Pollock as Eggman, which, that's the most shocking one, because Mike Pollock has been doing Eggman since Sonic X. So to have someone else, I mean, we had Jim Carrey in the movies, but other than that, you wouldn't expect someone else to be Eggman, unless, say, Mike Pollock decided to stop being it, or if he died. So I was curious as to what would happen with the voices. And it wasn't until like the beginning of May in this year that we saw a brief clip from Netflix's Netflix After School preview, where they were talking about all their upcoming animated shows and movies. And at the very end, they include a brief clip of Sonic Prime, where we see Sonic running, and we even get to hear a brief bit of his new voice in the series, which was done by Devin Mack. I might have butchered the name, I apologize, I'll just put some text on when I say it. But from what I heard with the voice, it sounded good. I really like it. And as a matter of fact, it's also the first time since Jaleel White where Sonic was actually voiced by a black person. So that was cool. I really like that. And yeah, I think this guy, from what we heard back then, he sounds pretty good. But of course I needed to hear the voice a little bit more. I think one line isn't enough to say, oh my god, this guy is fantastic. So I had to wait a little bit more. And then in June, we had the Sonic Central, which I talked about in the last two videos, but they also did show a new sneak peek in regarding Sonic Prime, but all it was just showing that Shadow was going to be in the series, and him dashing through Green Hill. That's about it. We don't hear a voice from Shadow, that's all we get, so it was kind of disappointing, but at the same time it was kind of cool to watch. It's in a grey area. And then another bit in June, I believe it was June, we had Netflix's Geek Week, which was hosted by Jeff Keighley and some other people, I don't know who they were, and we got another clip regarding Sonic Prime. And this one actually features a bit more of hearing the new voice of Sonic, and we also got an appearance of Big the Cat and Froggy. So we just see Sonic interacting with them, Big says something, so we actually get to hear Big talk. Honestly, this is probably my favorite voice of Big. Like, the only other times that we've heard Big speak is of course the adventure, like Sonic Adventure, Sonic Heroes, Sonic X, and LEGO Dimensions Sonic Level Pack of all things. But from all those times, like, I always found the voice of Big annoying. I really didn't like him. But with this one, I think his voice is much better. I prefer this. I actually really like his voice. It's actually something I could probably get down with. And I'm curious as to what Big's role in the series is. Is he just there for like little background gags? I don't know. We'll see when the time comes, when we finally get to watch the series. After that bit with Big the Cat, we just saw the same bit that we saw from the Netflix After School preview, so I just played that again. So it was a little disappointing that we didn't really get to hear any proper new information regarding Sonic Prime. But here's hoping that we'll probably start getting some more info soon. After a while, we didn't really get anything else, so we just went silent for most of the while. There was like a few interviews and confirmations that we're gonna get some like Sonic Prime related figurines, so that's cool. But it wasn't until, as of me recording this video, which is 21st, we got a little teaser trailer, like 40 seconds long, showing us some more bits regarding Sonic Prime. We actually get to see Sonic in action, we get to see Shadow in there, like he's actually fighting Shadow, which is a bit of a cliche now regarding Sonic, but I wanna see what the reasoning behind it is this time. I wanna know. We also got to see a brief clip of Big again. I think it was a different clip from the clip that was on the Netflix Geek Week. And of course, we also get a bit of footage of Sonic battling Eggman and some kind of like giant new Eggman robot. And of course, we get to hear another line of Sonic, and honestly, I really like hearing Sonic. I really do. He just sounds so good. It sounds like a mixture of Ryan Drummond Sonic with Roger Craig Smith Sonic. That's probably the best way I could probably put it. And honestly, I kind of like that. I really do. Like, even though Roger is honestly my least favorite Sonic in terms of VAs, like this makes sense for a mixture. To have the mixture of what a lot of people grew up as with Sonic nowadays to what Sonic's first voice was in the games. Official voice in the games. Main series. But yeah, from what we've seen, I'm really liking this, and I really love looking at the animation. The animation is just amazing. Like, I love how it shows like the 12 principles of animation, especially squash and stretch. There's like a lot of instances where you can really tell that they're using the squash and stretch on the characters, and honestly, I really like it. Now that's probably it for Sonic Prime for now until we get some more information, which I'll probably do another video on. But for now, I think we got something pretty good on our hands, and I'm gonna stay optimistic for what we may see in the future. If we get any more information, or even like a brand new trailer again, I will try my best to cover it as quickly as I can. But for now, this is where we're just gonna leave it, so overall, I am very excited for Sonic Prime. I'm looking forward to it, I'm loving what we're seeing so far, I love how the characters look, I love the animation, I love Sonic's new voice, Big's voice was pretty good, Eggman's voice I'm very curious about since I know it's not Mike Pollock. And yeah, I'm really curious about more of the plot and finding out more about how this fits into a multiverse. But anyways guys, that'll be it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment down below what you think of Sonic Prime currently, and yeah, we'll just go from there. So thank you all for watching, like, comment, subscribe, support me on Patreon, follow me on all my social media links, which will be all linked down in the video description down below, and I'll see you all in my next video. Until then, take care, bye bye.
Hey guys, Tails here! And if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and consider subscribing to Speed Force Productions for more. Catch you later!